Welcome everyone to the Monday, almost said Tuesday, Monday, November 3rd, 2025, Tumwater City Council. We're having it, just for those who are listening, we are having it on Monday instead of Tuesday, our normal time, because tomorrow is election day. So now we will go with roll call.
Councilmember Leata Dalhoff.
Present.
Councilmember Angela Jefferson.
Present.
Councilmember Joan Cathy.
Present.
Councilmember Eileen Swarthout.
Present.
Councilmember Michael Althauser.
Oh, he is excused this evening.
Councilmember Peter Agabi.
Present.
Councilmember Kelly Von Holtz.
Present.
Mayor Debbie Sullivan.
I'm present. Join me in our salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have a few special items this evening, and I think they're really great. The first one is a proclamation for American Indian Heritage Month, and Councilmember Swarthout will be reading that proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation, whereas November is the officially recognized month to celebrate and commemorate the heritage of American Indians. It is a time to honor the contributions, achievements, and sacrifices of America's first people, and a time to learn and celebrate the rich cultural and historical legacy of Native people. And whereas Native Americans have inhabited the area now known as Washington State since time immemorial. Today, 29 federally recognized Indian tribes, out-of-state tribes with treaty reserved rights, and other tribal communities reside in Washington. And whereas Tumwater Falls, where the Deschutes River enters Bud Inlet, was a ceremonial and sacred site of the Stachos people, ancestors of today's Squaxin Island tribe. Their village on the Bud Inlet below the falls and the river itself were both named Stachos. The Stachos fished and gathered seafood on the Bud Inlet and nearby waterways, and the area was a gathering place for the Stachos and nearby related tribes, including the Squaxin, Nisqually, Chehalis, and many other Salish Sea tribes and indigenous peoples. And whereas, as the first people to live on the land we all cherish, American Indians have profoundly shaped our country's character and our cultural heritage. Native people are leaders in every aspect of society. Their contributions and values have shaped the social, political, environmental, and economic fabric of our community, while also enhancing freedom, prosperity, and cultural diversity. And whereas we renew our commitment to respecting each tribe's sovereignty and cultural identity, while ensuring equal opportunity for all and continuing to work to strengthen our government-to-government relations. And now, therefore, Debbie Sullivan, Mayor of the City of Tumwater, does hereby proclaim the month of November 25th, American Indian Heritage Month, and encourages people to celebrate the rich cultures of Indigenous people, honor their sacrifices, acknowledge the unique challenges Native people face historically and in the present, and recognize their continued significance in our community.
Thank you. We have the Chairman Peters from the Squaxin Island Tribe. Do I have any other tribal members in audience? I don't believe so. If you could come to the podium, I will present you with the proclamation.
Say a few words. Okay, great. Thanks, Hawatush. Thank you. And Hachlahil, Twagalapu, Tsiab, TDE, Shed, Squax, Dubs, Chud, Talelchud, Squaxid, Klopsh, Teedsta, and Squiditsid. What I just said there was a good day to all of you, honorable people. I am Squaxin. I'm a citizen of Squaxin Island Tribe. I come from Squaxin, and my name is Klopsh. My English name is Chris Peters, and I'm honored to be here. I applaud you all for doing this. This is really important work. When you do these types of things, you're going to have your naysayers. You're going to have people who think this is a waste of time and they don't like it. However, if there's ever a time when we're going to do things where we embrace diversity, it's in today's world. So I applaud leadership, local leadership, for continuing to do things like this, because it really is meaningful. And it's meaningful to your entire community, whether they know it or not. So I hope that not only today, but other ethnicities, other cultures, other people, that you acknowledge them as well throughout the year. It is truly good for your entire community. It's important, especially in today's world. And as Squaxins, really quick, we were put on an island. We don't come from there. Before the treaty, we came from villages all over the South Puget Sound, including, as you read in the proclamation, I can trace my lineage, my family, back to the Stutchos clan, and we lived in a longhouse where the old brewery is right now. And so it's truly meaningful to me that my ancestors, literally for 10,000 years, stood right here, and I get to stand here. We're still here today. And so I appreciate every one of you for acknowledging that, and we'll reciprocate. As a Squaxin Island tribe, as a sovereign to another sovereign, the city of Tumwater, we appreciate you as well. We appreciate the partnership and the friendship. And we also embrace the whole community. We do. We know in today's world that it's about becoming together and moving forward together in a good way. We support your a healthy economy. We support a safe and healthy community. And we just hope that we can move forward together and embrace each other. And so my hands are raised to the entire community. So thank you. Raise our hands and means it's in good faith and in honor. So.
So I want to present you with the proclamation itself and also just a small token for the pen to go along with that. So thank you so much for coming tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council.
Thank you.
Chairman Peters, can I just say one thing?
Sure, keep it.
So Squaxin recently opened the trading post on like 70th and Little Rock, right? And back in the day, it was Frontier Foods. And I had talked to you in the past about building community and building resilience. That place is hopping, right? I might be there every week.
Yes.
But like, I see my neighbors there and we have conversations there. So I want to thank you and Squaxin for bringing our neighbors out and bringing us together, because that's what's happening right there on that corner.
Yeah, you bet. And we appreciate when we were exploring purchasing the property, one thing we recognized was the history of that and the family-owned business that was there for so long. And we're honored to be able to purchase that, but we want to honor that family and again, the community. And we hope that it's a resource. We hope people, not only for our economy, but also just it's a place for people to come and gather. And so, yeah, appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Everybody. You bet. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right. The next proclamation is for the National Veterans and Military Families Month of November 2025. And Councilmember Jefferson will be reading that.
Proclamation. Whereas Tumwater honors the strength and sacrifices of our veterans and active military members whose service is essential to our national security and freedom, and the families, caregivers, and survivors of veterans during the month of November. And whereas November is a time to acknowledge the tremendous sacrifices of our veterans and military families. Washington is home to more than 517,000 veterans, 65,000 active duty, 17,000 National Guard and Reserves, and their supportive families. And whereas our veterans and service members are brave and selfless individuals who respond when called to duty, their abiding patriotism and enduring dedication to the ideals of which the United States is founded are both necessary and inspiring. To be a service member and a veteran is to have endured and survived challenges most Americans will never know. I'm getting a little bit emotional because I'm a veteran, active duty myself, so these words just mean so much to me. Whereas to be a military family is to sacrifice more for our country than most Americans will ever give. Military families endure separation from their loved ones and adjust to new living situations with short notice, and frequently as every 2 or 3 years. And whereas there are currently 1.2 million military children of active duty members worldwide, and nearly 80% of military children attend public schools throughout the United States. Washington state educators currently work with 32,000 military families and have to know how to help kids cope with stress, deployment of their parents, the impact of grief and loss, discuss violence, terrorism, and war, and the anticipation of their loved ones returning home. And whereas support for military families sustain our fighting force and strengthens the health, security, and safety of our communities. Now therefore, Debbie Sullivan, Mayor of the City of Tumwater, do hereby proclaim the month, November 2025, National Veterans and Military Families Month. And she encourages people to join her in recognizing and supporting our veterans and military families who embody strength, resilience, courage, and whose experiences enrich our community. Signed in the city of Tumwater, Washington, and recognized on this third day of September 2025. Debbie Sullivan, Mayor.
Great, thank you. And I want to recognize your service, and I really appreciate that. I have two individuals who will be accepting this proclamation on behalf of the Lacey Veterans Hub, which provides amazing service for Thurston County. Brian Wananen and Ryan Neighbors. If you can come to the podium, you have a few minutes to just give a couple of comments.
Hey, Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity. I'm Brian Wananen. Good job saying my name right, Mayor. I really appreciate you recognizing the Lacey Veteran Service Hub for all the things they provide throughout Thurston County for both active duty service members, veterans, and their families. It's the team down there, which is about 13 providers, are a lot of them volunteers, are supporting the three pillars, I call them, the active duty, veterans, and their family members in everything they do every single day. It's amazing when I come in at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch what the team's doing every single day to help them navigate VA benefits, employment opportunities, food insecurity, education providers, which Ryan Neighbors is one of our education providers down there for Thomas Edison. It's a great opportunity, and it's a great program we have down there that the city of Lacey is managing. So I appreciate this recognition on behalf of the Lacey Veteran Service Hub.
Great, thank you. And I want to present you with a pen, and I'm giving one to you also. Thank you. And I will just share something personal. Lacey Veterans Hub was instrumental in assisting me when my husband, who was a retired Army, through that whole process, because it is very complicated. And if you're a civilian and you have no idea how the whole military thing works, you really need that help. And I probably would not have managed through it without the help of the Lacey Veterans Hub. So I totally appreciate it. And I want other individuals to know of the service that you provide, because I think it's very, very helpful. So thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, we have another special item, which is Energize Thurston County closeout briefing. And Alyssa Jones-Wood, I believe you are presenting this.
Yes, thank you. And I will try to be brief, but I do have 3 very exciting videos, and one of the stars of one of the videos just came inside because storytelling is more effective than me showing you graphs, but I'm still going to show you graphs because I'm committed to it. Energize Thurston is a program of the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative that the city participates in, and our residents benefited from this particular program. It was a subsidized group purchase and discounted heat pump and heat pump hot water heater campaign where we spent $447,540 of grant funds and an additional $10,696.63 cents from the Sustainability General Fund to install heat pumps or heat pump hot water heaters in all of those dots. And those dots exist because we did work with the Squaxin Island Tribe's cultural resources to make sure that wherever we were disturbing the ground to install the concrete pad for the heat pumps, that they had the opportunity to know exactly where that was and to provide comments. So an example of us being good partners, good stewards of the land and the historical and current resources. So that's a lot of cool dots. We put in 29 subsidized heat pumps and 7 subsidized hot water heaters for Tumwater residents, as well as 4 self-funded heat pumps and 1 self-funded water heater, which was residents who were above our income thresholds for the subsidization, utilized the discounts and negotiated pricing that we were able to get through the program. You may remember I described the program as lasagna at one point because it was so many different layers of all the different service providers and installers that came together to be a great program. So 2 more bar graphs before we get to the stories. This is a graph of people who went for the heat pumps and heat pump hot water heaters, and if they had natural gas or electric for replacing. Natural gas is more potent in terms of greenhouse gas emissions than our electricity grid, and the electricity grid's only getting cleaner with the Clean Energy Transformation Act here in Washington. So it's a good move for emissions. We estimate 455.8 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions avoided over these small amount but worthwhile installations from this year. And then the last aspect here before we get to the stories is that 25 participants did not have access to cooling prior to getting the heat pumps installed in their home. It's getting hotter in the summers, and most of our recipients were fixed income seniors who are more at risk for health-related issues with heat exposure. So this made 25 households safer for hotter summers, in addition to reducing the emissions of their heating, cooling, and water heating. All right. Some of you have heard a couple seconds of this video. There's 3. They're 1 minute. It won't take very long. Oh, I forgot. Grant funded by the Climate Commitment Act. There is our required language. We put the required language everywhere, and I'm so grateful for this funding. The new grant proposal application for this same program just opened up today. So we'll be applying again to try to make this program more than 1 year. Okay, now it's really the video. There's 2 more. One more story.
No.
That was cool.
All of the other jurisdictions that were part of this have wait lists, but Tumwater, we were able to take care of everybody who wanted it. That was income qualified last year. We will be using these videos to promote the program next year. Fingers crossed that we get allocated lots of grant funding to then take care of another 30, 40, 50 homes and low-income folks in our community to make sure that they can stay cool in the hot summers, stay comfortable, and stay safe in their homes while lowering emissions. So thank you, Barack, for being a volunteer, for doing the filming. All right. I'm happy to take any questions, but I also realize that it's special items and I'm supposed to be quick.
Councilmember Swarthout.
I just want to say thank you so much for this. Sometimes it just, the problem just seems so horrifically large and everything. And it just, sometimes it's just hard to, like, where do you chip away at this? And so to be able to do, we know that there's, two main things, like getting electric vehicles and then retrofitting our homes, and being able to have this program, because it is real expensive, but be able to chip away, and this will just continue to be able to do this and be able to make homes safer for people that, the cooling piece of it, that just continue 30, 40 homes at a time, that will just continue plugging away at this goal. And thank you because of your ability to get grants for us, and you keep finding the money. And I appreciate all your work and effort to find this, that you're making this happen for our residents here in Tumwater. And so it's really on you. And so thank you for that.
The collaborative makes it easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right. Next item on the agenda is public comment. So at this time, we'll receive public comment. Individuals may comment on items related to city business that's not scheduled for our public hearing that we're having this evening. So the sign-up sheet was just handed to me. When I call your name, please come up to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and your contact information for the record. Each individual will be limited to 1 3-minute period for making their remarks, regardless of the number of topics you wish to address. And please note that we do have a clock in the front. Speakers may not comment upon or promote, advocate, or oppose or speak against any pending initiative, ballot measure, or candidate. All comments shall be directed towards the council as a whole and not to individual council members and not to members of the audience. Please refrain from disruptive behaviors such as booing, hissing, audible comments, cheering, and clapping. And with that, I have 2 individuals signed up for public comment. Is it Mary Turcott? Great, come to the podium.
Mary Turcott. I'm on Glenwood Drive in Tumwater. And after hearing what Chris had to say, I'm thinking about stewardship and responsibility. And I'm one that watches the meetings online and get really nerdy about Tumwater since becoming a resident a few years ago. So on February 15th, 23, in a park commission meeting, Joel Hecker said, "The park buying lots of treed acres and cutting down all the trees, that's not a good look." He was referring to community center, potentially building it on some land. But I'm here to talk about what could be Director Denny Southwest Park, because by the time it's done, he might be retiring, even though he was new to the job in 1995 when the land was purchased. I tried to dress for 1995, but I realized this is what I dress every day. So anyway, so back before you were hoping for a Tamagotchi for Christmas, they weren't even out yet. That's when the master plan was developed. And I don't know who makes decisions based on 30-year-old data, but I was astonished when Director Denny at the Tumwater Middle School event, when I asked about the park, he said, "Oh yeah, it's in the plan." I said, "Are you using the same master plan?" "Yeah." I'm thinking, oh my goodness, no. My neighborhood was not part of the park, didn't feel like we were listened to. We were advocating for keep the trees, build a community garden. And come to find out in 2017, when Tumwater city residents, still not us, were surveyed, trails were the highest ranked recreational facility and top of the wish list for the residents of Tumwater. I feel like there is nothing like the east side of Squaxin Park in Tumwater. We don't have the ability to forest bathe, to be in the trees, be on a trail. But this parcel of land does have that. And taking it's 17 and a half acres and developing 6.5 of it with a soccer field and a baseball field, I don't know that that's going to meet the needs of, let's see, the 3,740 units that are being built between Bishop and Tumwater Boulevard. We're losing tons of tree canopy and gaining lots of neighbors. But having a park that you can walk to and walk in and meet the needs of people who aren't necessarily baseball players, because I feel like there's capacity for that in our community. And perhaps the next park that's further south can meet that need. But I would advocate for the city council to say, whoa, 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 to the recreation folks, to take a look at what the current needs are. If nothing else, more public comment to find out what the needs are at this time. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. John Ficker? Sorry, I don't mean to mess up people's names.
Not at all. My name is John Ficker. Thank you. I serve as the executive director of the Thurston County Food Bank. And I just wanted to come here this evening and speak in support and with some gratitude about the food system plan. At a time when food insecurity is all over the news, I'm really grateful that you're taking on this important challenge. At a time when politics and government shutdowns can interrupt people's lives as dramatically as we're seeing right now, it's great to know that we have local partners who are committed to this work as well. So I just wanted to come and again say thank you, that we are excited about the collaborative opportunities in the plan, and we're excited that all of the goals really align with the work and the mission of the Thurston County Food Bank. So thank you for the opportunity to come before you this evening, and thank you for the work that you're doing. All the best.
Great, thank you. Do we have anyone signed up online? Great, thank you. Is anyone else in the audience wanting to speak in public comment? All right, with that, we will move to the next agenda item, which is the consent calendar. So do I hear a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved. I'll second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Dahlhoff, seconded, moved by Councilmember Dahlhoff, seconded by Councilmember Von Holtz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries. And with that, we approve the minutes of the City Council meeting of October 21st, approve the City Council work session October 28th, payment vouchers, Resolution R 2025-016, small works roster, and the interlocal agreement with Lot Clean Water Alliance for the Class A reclamation demonstration pilot. And now we will move into the public hearing, and I believe that we have our Finance Director, Troy Niemeyer, presenting.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. So tonight we have a brief presentation about our 2026 property tax levy. We'll have some time for questions during and afterwards, and then we'll follow that with a public hearing and then ask you to take action. Excuse me. All right, so we'll jump in here. And my goal with this presentation, we usually get some questions around property tax, so I'm going to try to answer some of these questions before you ask them. We'll see how that goes. So you hear us talk all the time about the 1% property tax limit, and yes, of course, that's true. But we also have to consider the IPD, or implicit price deflator. That's a measure of inflation that's written into state law, and it's calculated by the Department of Revenue each year. That applies to every jurisdiction across the state. And so basically we are limited to the lower of the two. So if it turns out that the IPD is less, let's say it's 0.5%, then we don't get to raise 1%. We can only raise property tax by 0.5%. And for 2025, the IPD is 2.44%. So we'll be asking for the 1%. What would happen if the IPD was negative? That's actually happened before. I'll show you that in a second. But if the IPD goes below 0, that means our property tax actually decreases for that year. And here's what that looks like. This is the IPD from 1998 to 2025. And the blue bars are anything above 1%. The red bars are anything below 1%. So this does happen occasionally where we have to take less than 1%. And you can see right in the middle of the graph, that's 2010. And as a result of the Great Recession and the housing market crash and all those things, in that year, that IPD actually did go negative, and our property tax did decrease that year. I went back and looked up the data for that, and you can see from 2008 to 2009, we had about a $600,000 increase in our property tax. That's the 1% plus new construction. But then in 2010, it only went up $7,000. And that's because the property tax actually decreased, but new construction kind of made up for it and filled the gap to at least level it out. So for the collections in 2026, it'll be no more than 1% plus new construction. I did want to point out that new construction does not impact existing homeowners. That is simply on the new items being built. And we often get the question also, okay, City of Tumwater, you say you're only raising my property tax by 1%, but when I get my tax bill, it's more than that. That can happen. There's a number of different ways that can happen. One is that your home or your neighborhood may go up in value while someone else's home or neighborhood goes down in value. And that can affect the proportionate share that you pay based on your home's value. So that does happen. Other ways it happens, and I'll show you a graph here in a minute, but there's a lot of local governments vying for that property tax revenue. And so levies, levy lid lifts, special levies from other taxing districts can affect that as well. So this is just to show you City of Tumwater is there on the bottom. This is from the 2025 levy book from the assessor's office. But to show you that this is what cities generally look like. There's just one levy for a city. But if we look at a school district, it has 3 separate levies. Here we've got for Tumwater School District, a bond levy, a capital projects levy, and an enrichment levy. These are all passed by voters, but if they add a new levy or if one expires and they renew it, that can affect your individual property tax. So this is also from the 2025 levy book from the assessor's office, where your tax dollars go. And since we're talking about schools, if you look at the big piece of pie on the right in the blue, that says local school districts. If you can't read it, it's 37.32%. And then if we look at the maroon one on the left side, that says state school. But both of these go to fund K-12 education. The local schools on the right, that goes straight to the school district in your area. On the maroon color, that goes to the state, which is then redistributed to the school districts. After schools comes fire districts in the purple at 11.63%. At the bottom in the light blue, the county gets 8.39%. And in the light green on the bottom, cities and towns share 7.46% of the levy. So for the new construction piece, which is really important for us in Tumwater especially, they take the assessed value of the new construction, which for 2026, that's going to be $86.5 million. Divide that by 1,000 times the 2025 levy rate. And so we will get an estimated $151,000 for new construction. And let me emphasize too, this is estimated. The county has released its preliminary values, preliminary data as they continue their work and shore things up. These numbers could change a little bit, but usually not substantially.
Oh, hold on. Councilmember Jefferson has a question.
So Troy, is that for the county or is that how much
This
we're
is-
going to get?
This is for Tumwater
Just us?
specific.
Okay.
Sorry, just the city of Tumwater.
It's the county numbers though, right?
Yes,
Okay.
this is countywide.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Okay, just want to put a plug in for how important it is to take the 1%, in my opinion at least. For September, inflation was 3%. The cost of business, the cost of providing services goes up every year, and 1% is typically not enough to keep up with that. So even taking the 1%, we're losing 2% to inflation. So this is the recommended action. Oh,
I didn't finish reading it.
oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that concludes the presentation, and I can take any questions you might have.
Any questions before I open up the public comment portion? Councilmember Agabi.
So Troy, if the county rate is, total council rate that I see there's 1.74, right?
Yes.
So if the county is about 1.94 or 2 point something, do we get to split the difference or just go with the 2 point something at
No,
some point in time? No?
no.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions before I open up the public comment portion? You get the sign-up sheet. All right. I don't see any other questions. So I will, there's no one signed up for public comment. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the public comment portion. So I am opening up the public comment portion of our public hearing. I do not have anyone signed up on the sheet. Do I have anyone online signed up? All right, no one online signed up. Do I have anyone in council chambers who wish to comment on our, make comment in our public hearing? All right, not seeing any. I'll close the public comment portion and move to council discussion and if there's any emotion. Councilmember Dahlhoff.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move ordinance number 2025-016, an ordinance of the City Council. Troy, did you write this?
Yes.
The City Council of the City of Tumwater, Washington, relating to finance and setting the amount fixed for the regular levy of property tax necessary to raise the amount of revenues for essential expenditures for the City of Tumwater for the fiscal year 2026 to the November 18, 2025 consent agenda for adoption.
Well done.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Dahlhoff, second by Councilmember Von Holtz. Any discussion on the motion? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries unanimous. Thank you, everyone. All right, our next is, excuse me, council considerations. First up is Resolution R 2025-015, Food System Plan. And hello.
Hello.
We have Ms. Bowers presenting, so welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. My name is Dana Bowers. For the record, I'm an associate planner at City of Tumwater. And the item for your consideration is resolution number R 2025-015, Food Systems Plan. The plan was developed to address the community's concerns for food insecurity. And the plan was put on the work program for long-range planning in 2024 and 2025. The Planning Commission recommended adoption of the resolution after a public hearing on September 23rd, 2025. And this item was brought to you on October 14th. And at that time, you requested for staff to come back for your consideration of this item and for adoption. One comment was received by City Council on November 3rd, earlier today. Staff reviewed the comment and believe it's been addressed in the plan. After your consideration, staff is requesting City Council to adopt the resolution number R 2025-015. Specific items to implement this plan are included in the 2026 work plan, and you'll see that in December as we review the work plan with you. That concludes my remarks. I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm just super excited about this. Has been long coming, and way to go, Dana. Like, great work, all of you. I'm super excited. So.
It's a team effort.
Councilmember Swarthout.
I did have questions about the email we did receive as far as that comment in the question, as far as have we addressed that? Because we did have some conversation at work session. And so I read the document. I was just curious, were those items addressed?
Yes, it was addressed within the plan.
Because it was hard to tell when where any track changes were made. So from the document, because it still looked like it was a draft. So I just wanted to be sure that that was captured.
Captured, and it'll be a draft into adopted.
Okay. All right. Good. I just want to be sure. Thank you.
All right.
Mayor, I have a question.
Councilmember Jefferson.
Yes, first, thank you for your hard work. And did you look at different communities, what they're doing? Is this unique to Tumwater or?
It's very unique to Tumwater. The other plans that we had to go off were from counties, Spokane County and Whatcom County. So this is not usual for a city to do.
Okay.
It's at a very different scale than we'd seen in the previous versions.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. I'm impressed.
All right, any other comments? Who would like to make the motion? Councilmember Jefferson, do you want to make the motion?
I'm having issues with my.
Oh, she's having,
Yes.
You got it?
there we go.
I move that we adopt resolution number R2025-015.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Jefferson, second by Councilmember Dahlhoff. Any discussion on the motion? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Next item is interlocal agreement, the ILA with Thurston County and the cities of Olympia, and Lacey for the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaboration. And Alyssa Jones-Witz gets to present this also.
Yes.
You're busy tonight.
I tried to get 3 items on, but I didn't meet the other deadline. Good evening again. I showed you some of the wonderful work of the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative before. We have an interlocal agreement that allows us to do that work interjurisdictionally. And in the 2 years since we updated the interlocal agreement, we've identified some opportunities for efficiency. So that's a wholesale replacement, but a lot of the language is the same. I'll just go through some of the changes. So just a background, the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative is made up of an executive committee in which Councilmember Swarthout is actually our chair, a community advisory work group, staff team, and then the jurisdictions are the ones who hold the power to actually make the change. This interlocal agreement is associated with a regional implementation guidance document that gets more into the nitty-gritty kind of a process protocol manual for that. Past 2 years since the 2023 interlocal agreement, we have learned some things, realized that some things could be streamlined, that for instance, Energize Thurston. We had a interlocal agreement that came to you all to design the program. We had another one to do the program, and then we had another one in that year to have the interlocal agreement. Streamlining is effective so that we can then spend more time on implementation and less time staring at one Word document. So we're trying to reduce the administrative task burden to make it so that exactly that we can spend more time on implementation. This interlocal agreement went through a whole slew of different steps. We brought it to the executive committee in July, then to the advisory work group in August. We held an annual retreat where we really talked about what we could streamline, what might not be necessary to do. For instance, only one person, to the best of my knowledge, actually reads our annual reports. So perhaps we don't need to spend time and money making an annual report every single year. Perhaps we do it with the greenhouse gas emission inventory, where we can also track the metrics. As jurisdictions, we can still provide annual updates, but getting all 4 jurisdictions together to make a pretty document, maybe not the most important. Went to Public Works Committee. They recommended that it come on the consideration agenda. And then also we brought it to the executive committee again for them to recommend the approval to the jurisdictions. So the changes, we have a new regional initiatives. So instead of having to come to council with an interlocal agreement for every regional initiative, now it's part of a general work plan that gets adopted by the jurisdictions as part of the budget process. This is very similar, identical to what REAP does for the Regional Environmental Education Partnership. Also gets rid of the 2026 administrative update. The CAW and the EC didn't think it was important for us to change typos to update the greenhouse gas emission inventory. This saves the region $50,000. We didn't need to do it. It also gives the executive committee authority to delay or cancel a large plan update if they determine that it is not needed. There are some interesting changes that we've gone through as a region. For instance, now every jurisdiction has a climate element with hundreds of items for each of us to do, which does incorporate the Thurston Climate Mitigation Plan, but does complicate it a little bit. If we update the plan, then we have to update all the comp plans, and we only get to do that once a year. So we only will update the plan when we really need to. Greenhouse gas inventory, also in line with the climate element. Department of Commerce will do a free greenhouse gas inventory for Thurston County every 5 years for our reporting. Last year we did one. The collaborative paid for it, and then Commerce decided to do one for us for free, and there were slight differences in the numbers. We'd like to not do that again and have the opportunity to use the free greenhouse gas inventory and streamline in that way.
Councilmember Dahl.
Thank you, Mayor. So Alyssa, when you're talking about greenhouse gas inventory, are you just, is that scope 1 and scope 2? Or are they also measuring scope 3?
I think it's just 1 and 2.
Okay. Is there any discussion about including scope 3 moving forward?
Yes. There's also discussion about general consumption-based inventories as well. It's just what direction we get.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So it revises the greenhouse gas frequency to 3 to 5 years, which is the industry standard, and aligns with that Department of Commerce timeline as well. We also have it so that the base funding is associated with the biennial work plan. Again, this goes to the parties' approval with their respective budgets and allows flexibility for any party to contract services. So for instance, we have an administrative consultant that helps us with our executive committee and community advisory work group meetings. And Lacey is, they've held that contract for many years, and they are ready to pass the torch so that we can share the burden of different administrative contracts. So this allows for us to do that and have flexibility to each jurisdiction kind of take on a contract when it best suits our workload. We also added a reallocation of funds due to budget reduction. This is exact language from the REAP ILA, so this also isn't new, but new to this one. There were at least 2 jurisdictions in the collaborative that are having a really hard time with budget, but we don't want them to not be able to participate if they get some but not all of the funding. So this has an opportunity for jurisdictions to opt out of certain things, but still having that base funding so that we get the things that we need to make the collaborative work. That'll still be funded. And we moved the notice into the 21st century, so we have an option for email. With some of those, like if some jurisdiction leaves the a particular action, they don't want to be part of a regional initiative or they don't have the funding for that, it's written that within 14 days, the staff team would need to have a meeting and discuss what we're going to do and how we reallocate those funds. I'm over at Water Resources. Mail comes here. So however long it takes the snail mail to get here, then get to me, and then get to all of us at the same time. Email really helps get that short timeline up and running. We also have some changes to the regional implementation guidance, which would now, under this proposed new ILA, be able to be changed by the executive committee, so I don't have to come to council for things like we're going to have 4 meetings this year instead of 5. Small changes, don't need to have all of your time. We have lots of things on all of your agendas, and I take up enough time on them as it is. It clarifies some language, reduces the community advisory work group meetings to quarterly, which was their idea. Revises the progress report to approximately every 3 years. Again, no one was reading it every year. Now we'll do it 3 years. And allows annual retreats to be optional and the regional initiative selection process as recommended to allow some flexibility. So my requested action is to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the interlocal agreement for the Climate Mitigation Collaborative. Thank you.
All right, any questions or comments? Anyone want to make a motion? Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make a comment and I'll make a motion. I just was thinking about my councilmate, And Kathy just wanted to keep her up to date on what we're doing as far as our environmental work is going, and that keep you apprised of our meetings and the work that we're doing. So I always think about you, and so I want to be sure that we're keeping you up to date, ma'am. And so with that, I would like to make a motion that we approve and authorize the mayor to sign the interlocal agreement with the Thurston County and cities of Olympia, Lacey, and for the Thurston County, or excuse me, Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative.
I second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Swarthout, seconded by Councilmember Jefferson. Any discussion on the motion? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is Resolution R 2025-014, the City of Tumwater Strategic Plan, and City Administrator Parks.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, council members. So tonight we're here to talk about the resolution to adopt the strategic plan that we've been working on for the last year or so. In general, as we have talked many times over the last many months, the strategic plan is really a big picture document that is oriented towards helping to guide the community forward in both our budgeting processes and our day-to-day work plans, and to define goals that the council prioritizes for us, prioritize the work within those different goals, and then to really be a tool that can provide clarity and transparency, both for staff in terms of wondering and knowing what we are to be working on, what the priorities are, but then also for the larger community as they wonder how we are managing our resources. So in essence, the strategic plan has our 6 focus areas, which build upon the work that has been done over the past many years with our strategic priorities and goals. These 6 focus areas have action items identified within each of those focus areas that are goals we would strive for in our work as staff and as the council gives us an opportunity to move forward. Each focus area also then will have annually a work plan that talks about the different activities that staff will be working on and reporting to the council for each of the different action items within the focus areas. We took some time this year to work on this project, and thank you to all of the council members for the time and attention you gave to this project. We had 3 different Saturday retreats, which were all day long, and those occurred in June, 2 of those in June and 1 in September. That should be September 9th. Oh, that is September 9th. We had regular work sessions as well. So we had 3 Saturday retreat sessions and 4 regular work sessions, the last of which was last week on October 28th. So the resolution itself that you have before you, the whereas statements really are intended to clarify that the strategic plan helps alignment with the biannual budget process. It reiterates our commitment to the vision, mission, and values that we have in place for our community. And then it again identifies the strategic focus areas that are guiding the work that we are doing, categorizing the work that we're doing. So we talk in the resolution about the purpose. The implementation authority is handed out to the city administrator in collaboration with the management team. Monitoring and reporting in terms of giving the council regular updates, we commit to that. And then let's talk generally about our modifications. So we do intend this document to be living and breathing and to be reflective of the council's differing priorities over time. And so there will be regular updates to the strategic plan itself. In odd years, a full update on a 6-year cycle. And as I mentioned, each year we'll have an annual work plan within that will describe the specific activities within each of those focus areas. So we are asking that the council put this resolution on the agenda for November 18th for final adoption. The reason we are asking you to do that on the 18th is because we are not quite finished with the final edits. So what we do have left, Kelly is going to be working on the introductory letter that you have seen throughout the development of this draft. She's going to be reaching out to each of you to ask you if you have thoughts about what that letter would look like. We do have some additional action items that Alyssa and Dan are working on based on the input from Councilmember Dahlhoff at last week's meeting. And we are working with our communications team to make sure that the graphic representation of this document is very pleasing. So we are committing to have the full final plan in your packets for the November 18th council meeting. And so we are asking that you put this on that agenda. We're happy to talk to you again about it if you'd like to put it on the consideration calendar or if you'd like to have it on the consent calendar, either is fine. I'm happy to answer questions.
Councilmember Dahlhoff.
Thank you, Mayor. Lisa, I dig it. Thank you. The one question I had is when we get this again, can we please have track changes from this version to what's presented to us?
Absolutely. It will essentially be the letter and it will be the items that are updated in the environment.
Please.
If that's okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm excited about this. This is good.
Great. Any other comments or questions? All right, so I'm going to ask, which would you prefer, consent or consideration?
Consideration, please.
Consideration? All right, I'm seeing agreement with putting it on the consideration. Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want us to make a motion? City Attorney, thank you. I see the head.
I
I would like to move the place resolution R 2025, the 014, adopting the 2026 to 2032 Tumwater Strategic Plan on the consideration agenda for the November 18th, 2025 City Council meeting.
May I second?
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Dahlhoff, seconded by Councilmember Jefferson. Any additional comments on the motion? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. All right, the next item, and I believe that's our last item on the consideration, on council consideration, is the pooling opioid settlement funding with Thurston County, Lacey, and Olympia. And City Administrator Parks will
Yes.
present.
Thank you, Mayor. This is intended to ensure that we have clear direction from the City Council on the use of the opioid settlement funds that we discussed at last week's council work session. So again, the two questions before council are, does the council want to pool funds with Thurston County, the city, and the cities of Lacey and Olympia for 2026 and 2027? And if so, how much? So the available funds that I had compiled and put into the staff report for you, I tried to summarize here. Essentially, we've already received just under $366,000. We expect to have an additional almost $50,000 in 2026 come in. 2027, we expect to have about a little over 46,000. So total of $461,833 actually in hand and available for conveying to somebody else by the end of 2027. We do expect to collect over the following 10 years in annual payments approximately $469,000. However, that is likely to change because, for example, we have two different settlements that they have not yet allocated funds yet to the individual cities, and it is possible that there could be other settlements that would come through the One Washington plan. So it isn't necessary to make a motion, but Councilmember Dahlhoff is attending the Opioid Abatement Council meeting on Wednesday night. And all of the council members agreed to come back to that meeting with an indication as to whether or not their jurisdiction, their seatmates wanted to pool funds, and if so, how much. If the answer is yes, and the number is definitive, what will happen from then is concurrently, we are reviewing an interlocal agreement amendments that would authorize this pooling of funds. Currently, the interlocal agreement does not authorize pooling. So Karen is in the process of reviewing with her colleagues, and we expect to bring that to the council, if not before the end of the year, very shortly after the beginning of the year. And we would then the Opioid Abatement Council would expect to do a request for proposals that would go out for the years 2026, 2027, the total amount of pooled funds from whatever resource, from whichever jurisdictions choose to participate, and then those would be distributed to qualifying eligible projects. So the way we've worded this, after I talked with Karen a little bit, and after her process in terms of meeting with her colleagues, if the council is affirming that they want to pool funds, which is what we heard at the council work session, we just need to understand the amount. And so the suggestion, one option is to basically say in an amount not to exceed 100% of the funds available and received by the city through calendar year 2027, which is approximately $461,000, and then subject to approval of the revised interlocal agreement that authorizes that pooling. So that's really, we, and particularly Councilmember Dahlhoff, is just looking for your concurrence. It isn't necessarily to make a motion, but if this seems reasonable, she would very much appreciate your advice.
I have a question.
Councilmember Jefferson.
Yes, for Councilmember Dahlhoff. Are Lacey and Olympia
And the county.
affirmative?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Swarthout.
So funds won't be distributed until 2027, so we have 2 years. When will the funds actually?
26 and 27. So it's going to be one-time funding and most likely capital and infrastructure. And then we reassess in 2 years.
So we won't, okay, so I was just confused. So money. will
26 and 27.
actually- Things will actually
Correct.
happen.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Things-
And we will,
Good work could happen in 2026.
It's going to happen in 2020.
Just making sure.
yes, I don't think anybody would want to be on the other side of the conversation if they were to say that it was not going to be.
If that doesn't happen, please take me off this assignment.
Just not trying to be funny, but just
No.
like really that we're not.
Yes.
we can all be-
That's
It
why
seems like we're not.
Administrator Parks is giving us the update with the ILA with a similar draft of the request for proposals. So the timing, so we can get that out to turn it around to then do a proposal to the Board of County Commissioners.
And we will, because right now we have the funds. We do not have authorization to expend the funds in our current budget. So we will need to come back to you with a budget amendment also, but that would also happen in early 2026. We're planning a mid-biennial budget amendment, and we are including, this would be included in that hopefully in very early 2026.
All right. Any other questions? Is there any opposition with moving forward with this?
So Dan, if I understand, this is not necessarily a council resolution, it's just,
At this time.
yeah, I understand.
Right.
So,
We agree that we want to do up
Yeah.
to 100% of these funds.
That we've already received, or that we plan to see, that we expect to receive through 2027.
Head shake.
No,
All right.
that's,
I see a lot of yes nodding.
Head shaking.
So I believe that
Yeah.
that is an
Councilmember
affirmative to
Kathy?
move forward.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. With that, now we are moving to committee reports. The first committee report is Public Health and Safety. Councilmember Agabi.
so Mayor, would you believe we got lucky? So we don't have any until December. Canceled.
Yeah.
It's a holiday.
Oh, very good. All right. General Government Committee, Councilmember Althauser is absent.
Meeting next week. Meeting next week.
Okay. All right. And Public Works Committee, Councilmember Swarthout.
Yes, we're getting up early on Thursday, November 6th at 8 a.m. and we have 4 items on the agenda. We have land license with Earthscope Consortium Incorporated for the GPS station at Tumwater Hill Park, a supplemental agreement with SCJ Alliance, and another service provider agreement with Sargent Engineers, and a service provider agreement with Stantec for the Pioneer Park Restoration Project. So bright and early Thursday morning, everyone.
Great, thank you. Budget and Finance Committee met on October 24th. 4th, and we had the monthly report and didn't have any other business that day. So we will now move to Mayor City Administrator report.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick things. First of all, congratulations to our staff. The Washington Festival and Events Association awarded the 2025 4th of July Festival at Tumwater Valley as the event of the year for South Puget Sound. So the award criteria is based on the event size, the budget, marketing, attendance, logistics, location, sponsorships, tourism, and community or regional impact. So just about every staff person in Parks and Rec in particular participates in one way, shape, or form. But we also have all of our, many of our first responders and our public works crews that are helping the day of and prior to. Our communication staff is working hard to get the word out, along with our parks staff getting the word out. And of course, you all attended, I think, on behalf of the city, or nearly all of you did. And so we're very appreciative of all the work that goes into that, and grateful for the recognition.
Okay, hold on.
So,
Member Jefferson?
so for that, do the employees get just bragging rights, or do they get some type of cash incentive for job well done?
I do not
A
know.
day off?
I don't. I do not know if they get a day off. I believe many of them take the following day off because it's, sunrise to beyond sunset. And I don't think the Festival and Events Association gives any cash awards. So.
$1,000 bonus or
trophy.
something? All right, thank
We get a
you.
trophy. We did.
Super proud of all of our folks. That's really good news. It's nice. I know it's nice for them, especially. They work so hard. Up to and the day of, they all work very, very hard. And so it's really nice to be recognized. They're very appreciative, and they know that the council and the community is appreciative, but to be recognized from outside the community, that's extra special. So congrats. So second, we are working to highlight our utility assistance programs on our homepage again right now this time of year. We continue this cycle periodically, but this really is a time of year, and with everything else that's happening in our world, a good time. So we are trying to reach out to people and remind them that they have utility assistance program available. Troy and I just talked via email. We're not going to likely do our shutoffs in November because the date falls right before Thanksgiving. And we committed to reassessing shutoff typically for December based on what's happening in the outside world as well. So,
Councilmember Dollhoff?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Administrator Parks, is there a way you can update council on that number? Because I know it fluctuates, and we haven't had an update since we talked the last time about how we reach out. Could we get an update on the number
on the number of people
of residential and businesses
people participating in the program
that you put on the list to be cut off?
Oh,
shutoffs.
Oh, okay. The number of shutoffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilmember Jefferson, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. So it's going to be on our website, the notice, right? Are we also going to mail it out somehow to let those without access?
Yeah. So last year, as part of the budgeting process, we committed, and actually our finance staff under Troy's direction identified a tool by which we could provide at least those who qualify for reduced property tax burden at the county level, let them know about our program. So we continue to provide that type of notification. I'd need to get back to you specifically on how we do that, but I believe it's we mail information, we email information, we post information on our website. We try to make people aware of that, and like I said, this is an update specifically from Jason. His staff is continuously providing these types of ticklers, I guess, or notifications on our social media and on our webpage, that type of thing.
Maybe at the senior center, some type of poster or something.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. So GIS Day is coming up. We have lots of internal things going on. That's really an opportunity for our GIS staff, who are wonderful, by the way, to really showcase what it is that they do. They usually have some fun, quirky event for staff the day of. So we're looking forward to that. November 4th and 5th, northbound Little Rock Road from Odegaard to Kingswood is going to be closed for pavement restoration from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The southbound lane is going to remain open for local traffic, but it would be advised to detour via Tyee Drive if you're in that area, if you remember to do that. This is a private development project that's actually being done on behalf of PSE. So just wanted to make you aware of that. And our communication staff helps to make the community aware of that, even if it's not our project. And then just a reminder, so we have meetings coming up. So next week, we do not have public health and safety or council work session. It's on November 11th, which is Veterans Day. We do have general government committee on the 12th. Next Tuesday, 2 weeks from tomorrow, the 18th of November, we actually have 2 meetings. At 5:30, we'll ask you to be here for your annual Tumwater Metropolitan Parks District Board of Directors meeting. That starts at 5:30. That will include basically an update on the year, as well as the tax levy presentation, similar to what Troy gave you this evening. And then we will start the city council meeting right at 7. So just a reminder about that. And then in my Friday update, I think I don't remember, this was not last week, maybe it was, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before. I had indicated that there weren't any council agenda items yet for December 16th. We have 2 items now and potentially more. And the 2 items that we have are related to the comprehensive plan. And in order for us to comply with our timeline and ensure that we do not have to utilize any state level regulatory documents because of our timing, we are needing to ask that every council member be here or be in attendance, not necessarily in the room, so that we can adopt a couple of ordinances for our comp plan update on an emergency basis, so that they can go into effect immediately and not put us in a position where for a period of several weeks or a month, we might be subjected to state regulations. Karen can answer that a little bit further, but the point being that we will have our meeting on December 16th, and we do need to have everybody in attendance in order to be able to adopt those ordinances by emergency action. Yes.
Councilor Dahl.
I'm not following this because we're not going to meet our deadline. Is that the gist?
Push the button.
I'm on or off.
There you go.
We're required to adopt them by the end of the year
So why would we need an emergency ordinance?
because it takes, without an emergency, there's a 30-day waiting period for ordinances to take effect. So in order to take effect immediately, that requires the emergency clause, and that requires a unanimous vote of the entire council
Have we done this in previous updates?
of the comp plan. We've done it with other development regulations. I don't specifically recall if we've done it for the comp plan.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I don't understand why the delay, but it is what it is.
We have several meetings between now and then where where Brad and his crew are going to be talking with you about the comprehensive plan. So hopefully we'll be able to answer your questions between now and then. But that's really intended to make sure that we are not subjected as of January 1 to any state regulatory requirements that if we had to wait that 30 days that we would be subject to.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you. So for my report, I attended the Thurston County Economic Development Council board meeting. And I'm sure some people are aware that the Thurston County EDC has had some funding shortfalls, a lot of that due to government shutdown, but also a lot of significant state budget cuts, which impacted multiple programs. So they have done a huge revision and trimmed and removed some of the programs, combined it with others. So there's been furloughs, staff layoffs for that. But as I talked to other board members who've been there for years, said this is not the first time this has happened because it's such a grant-funded program. And so every time they always come back stronger. So there was, I think they came up with a really good way of maintaining. And Michael Cade, who's the director, walked the talk and he took a pay cut so that he, if everybody else has to feel the pain, he was going to feel the pain also. So I appreciate that. And it's really keeping the core programs that they do in place. There's been so many other extra programs added onto it, but their core programs are still in place. So there's the 30th of October was a really busy day. So I went to the change of command for the 7th ID, which is our kind of our partner with JBLM. So the woman who's the general, she will be moving on, I believe, to the Pentagon from this point. So it was very interesting. It was just one of those days where there was no rain. It was actually sunny. And that's good because there was like 1,000 troops out in Washington Field, and it would have been really miserable. Including, we had the honor of having a guest in the audience who was 102, almost 103-year-old World War II veteran, and so it was really amazing. He was in that unit way back in World War II. So the other thing that we did on the 30th was the Ballot Processing Center ribbon cutting. That is amazing. I am so glad that that is in place. Something else that is probably important for council to know, we have now planned action EIS committees. We have two, a technical committee and a policy committee. The technical committee met on October 23rd and the policy committee met on October 30th. And there's a lot of interest from the public to serve on that. And this will be a good way of explaining our whole EIS and having involvement in our community to make that move forward. So I thought that was really good. Right, with that, we will go to council member reports. So Councilmember Kathy, would you like to start for us this evening?
That is, if I have a voice to do it. I haven't had any meetings. They start for this month on the 6th with the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, and then the next week with general government. So everything is just starting up for the month.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Mayor. On Monday, October 27th, I chaired the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative Executive Committee. That's the title. Oof. And so one of the items that we had a presentation from Faduma Fido, who's with the People's Economy Lab, and the background, the CAW that Alyssa talked about earlier, they're our Citizens Advisory Work Group. They wanted them to make her to make a presentation to the executive committee, and it was really, really interesting. She represents the People's Economy Lab, and they put together these assemblies. We're working with it now. Alyssa's already has a team of people. We're doing this now with. We hired Paris. I can't think of his last name, but he's doing these assemblies for TCAT as far as climate information, and we've already we hosted our second one last Saturday, and so it's bringing people together to discuss strategies as far as like our reaching out to people as far as climate and climate justice. And one of the things that came across is just interesting is how they get people together in how climate emergencies and how they up in Seattle where they had hospital workers and transportation workers, and they got all these different people together to talk about how severe climate affects their jobs and their lives. And so it's that kind of a process. It was really interesting. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm kind of dweebing out here, but it was an interesting presentation, and that we're already doing that. And here we're leading the front with Alyssa already doing that in our own community as far as that kind of work. So appreciated that presentation. And then we talked about the ILA, which you passed. So thank you very much. That's the end of my report.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Dolhoff.
Thank you, Mayor. This week I have Thurston County 911 Communications, Thurston County Opioid Abatement Council meeting with Administrative Parks, Public Health and Safety was canceled. Then I have General Government and Lot next week.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Agabi.
Thank you, Mayor. So on Monday, the 10th of November, I have just come and we're going to be talking about our budget for 2026. And then on the 12th Wednesday, I have the Transportation Board meeting. And then on Thursday, the 13th, I see a potential meeting with LEOFF. But other than that, that is what I have for next week.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Jefferson.
Yes, I had two events. On the 10th of October, I participated in T-Hope's interviews for our new coalition coordinator, and we had two good applicants who applied for the position. I should know who she is rather soon. On the 23rd of October, EMS council meeting, we talked about the potential sharing of an executive director between the North and West regions and updates on the ALS Academy and EMT classes. The 8th Medic Unit located here in Tumwater is now 80% functional and will be fully staffed by January 1st. And that is my report.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Von Holtz.
Thank you, Mayor. I have intercity transit on Wednesday, and I don't have public health and safety on Tuesday, and intercity transit will be conducting on Friday interviews for the community council, so I will be taking part on that for a good part of the day on Friday.
Great, thank you. And just I wanted to do a reminder, we do not have a council work session next Tuesday because that is a holiday. It is Veterans Day. So with that, we are going to be moving into executive session. I didn't ask how long do we expect? 15 minutes. All right. So with that, we will be back in session. Let me do math. Oh, yes. So the council will now meet in executive session to discuss potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30-110 sub 1I. And we will be in this session for 15 minutes. And so with that, it will put it at, holy cow. Do the math. Yes. I have to declare a time. 8:40. All right. Thank you. And with that, we are recessed.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we are out of executive session and next item is adjournment. So thank you, everyone.